All right, Pat, we're going live. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate this. For our audience, I'm here with Dr. Pat Williams, Master Certified Coach, licensed psychologist. You've been an exec coach since 1990. You're the founder of the Institute for Life Coaching. I feel like I'm talking to coaching royalty. So thank you for joining. And we're excited to have you as part of the Pittsburgh ICF's chapter's events and programming this year. So let me start with my thanks.
Great. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. And on Tuesday, September 15th of this year, the chapter's hosting you in a panel of really exceptional and inspiring coaches. We'll be talking about coaching as we always do, but I looked at what's coming and I was like, oh, we are talking about human transformation in this unexpected place, and that's federal prison.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, how did you come to start training and coaching federal prisoners?
That's an interesting story. In 2012, I got a letter from a federal prisoner. And of course, the subject line said, federal prisoner number, blah, 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 blah. And his name was Talib Mustafa Shakir. And I'm thinking, what the heck is this? Should I even open it? It's like, it just seemed strange. Mm-hmm. But his first sentence in his first paragraph captured me. He had a copy of my book, Becoming a Professional Life Coach, was using it in prison to just run discussion groups. And he was a well-educated man who went into prison at age 17. He'd been in 20 years, almost 20. And I was just, okay, yeah, I'll respond and I'll talk to you. And we scheduled a call, which of course he had to pay for, and it was monitored. But then the magic happened. It found out that the assistant warden was a graduate of Coach Training Institute, or maybe Coach U, one of the two. But so my nonprofit, Coaching the Global Village, also collaborated with the institute I started that you mentioned, the Institute for Life Coach Training. And I had just sold that school at the same time. 2012, I had sold that. Ellen, who's now the director, agreed to send a curriculum to the prisoners and have the assistant warden monitor it because she was a trained coach. And it just became wonderful. We trained over 100 men in 5 years in the same curriculum that I trained master's and PhD level professionals in. And now many of them are out and reclaiming their lives, and they're going for ICF certification.
Wow, yeah, massive transformation.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I actually went twice to the prison to do a keynote address at their graduation, and we filmed some stuff of chatting with the men, meeting them for the first time, and they're brilliant guys who made some mistakes. I mean, were it not for a few things, many of us might be incarcerated. I mean, what if you had a car wreck and killed somebody? What if you were drinking? I mean, there's a lot of reasons people could end up incarcerated. Now, these men did tend to be of color, and we know that that's the high propensity 80% of prisoners in America. But going to this federal prison and giving a keynote, we thought we were going to make a documentary on how coaching had changed their lives, but the Bureau of Prisons wouldn't let us. It was like, even though it was all good news, they have a very, if we didn't create it, we're not going to give anybody credit for it.
What would have been your biggest learning from this experience?
That a lot of people's view of federal prisoners is way off. I mean, many of these guys are well educated, had great training prior to. They got great training in prison. The man who contacted me was fluent in 3 languages. He now is out and he's doing Spanish to English translations, and he also speaks Farsi. Doing a great job. A lot of them, I mean, it's just, they're great guys. I continue to mentor them. I'm actually on a Saturday morning advisory group with many of them, and trying to help. Some of them actually do coaching, and that's their business. Some of them just use it in their job to relate to people better.
So a lot of latent skills and capacities and potential.
Right. Here's one of the great things. When I went to the prison for the first time, the warden, the psychologist, and the chaplain all said, I don't know what you guys are doing, but these guys have changed. They don't get in fights. They don't argue. Their families want to know what happened. And so all from the coaching methodology, somehow their mindset changed. And of course, now in coaching with the new competencies, the coach's mindset is a key part. We always taught that, but now it's a competency. And it changed their lives way more than some cognitive behavioral thinking program that they had, you know.
Yeah, boy, isn't it great to hear theory go right into practice and
There
then
you
get
go.
applied for those kinds of results.
Right.
Mhm. Pat, we think about folks who are resource challenged or freedom challenged.
Yes.
How can coaches seek out opportunities to support them, these returning citizens, and the communities that they're returning to?
Well, I think now, ironically, or I should say coincidentally, the men who are going to be on this panel in September, most of them are from Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh. So that's a good luck thing that we're doing this panel. There's other places that I've done. I mean, I think all coaches, whether they've already got a thriving practice or not, a way to get more visible is to have a certain amount of scholarship spots, a certain amount of pro bono, which, by the way, pro bono means for the good, not for free. So you can charge something. You can coach with a nonprofit. So I would say look in your own backyard. Look at probation services, youth detention centers, state prisons. Is there any opportunity? And then there's other populations too, like maybe there's domestic violence shelters, or I've got another friend in New York who coaches returning women citizens, and she focuses on women getting out of prison. So I think all coaches should look for an opportunity to coach the underserved and under-resourced.
It sounds like, well, certainly a huge need, and some of these opportunities are right here in front of us, local.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, Pat, we're going to be excited to hear more on Tuesday, September 15th. Again, thanks in advance for joining us, and keep your eye out for more information. If you're tuning in and interested in joining the chapter, hit our website, and we will see you all in September. Pat, thanks for joining.
Thank you very much. I look forward to the event.
Pleasure.